Hey everybody, Marshall here. Sorry running a little bit late tonight. I had drove about 10 miles to go into town and get some supper. And that ran a little bit late. Apparently they didn't have what I ordered and they had to fix it, some of it fresh while I was there. So sorry to run a little bit late tonight. I normally come on here and do these about 8:30, 9 o'clock at the latest, but tonight I'm running a little bit late. In a recent video that I uploaded to my channel, I had talked about the GoPro Hero 5 black batteries that come with it, saying that I'm only getting, like an hour and 23 minutes on 1080, 30. I'm only getting about 59 minutes on 1080 at 60 frames per second. Well, anyway, I had went on Walmart.com and ordered me a couple of Wasabi Power replacement batteries that fit the GoPro Hero 5 Black, 6, and everything. And they do fit the 7, but only operate some functions. What's up, brother? Good to see you. I think that was probably the biggest goldfish I've ever seen. The one in your video. Well, anyway, I got these Wasabi Power batteries, and I got 2 of them. And then I got the charger that came with it, and all I had to do is hook an end onto it. This is the end that goes to my phone. And I just put that on there, and it gives me the option of charging 3 batteries at one time. Now, first impressions. Now, this is not saying they're going to last as long as the GoPro Hero 5 Black battery over time. They might start wearing out faster and may get where they don't hold a charge as long as the GoPro Hero 5 down the line. The next one, it's a goldfish. It's gold and around 3 pounds. Woo! Well, anyway, these at $17.99 as of right now. First initial impressions. I've used both of them. Both the Wasabi Power batteries. I went out and did a little fishing on my kayak back in the cove. Well, I got skunked. No bites, no fish. And I probably threw, 7 or 8 different lures. They just wasn't biting. We had rain for like a week, maybe a week and a half straight here. The water is up by almost 2 foot down there where I launch at. And I could see when I'm reeling back to me, once I get about 5 or 6 feet away from the kayak, I could see my lure. I was bringing the lure all the way up to the top and out of the water before I was even seeing it this time. So the water was a lot dirtier, a lot more stained. What's up, Bull Gear RC Videos? Hope everything's going good your way. So I couldn't see my lures at all. So the water was a lot dirtier, a lot more stained or whatever. But it was almost 2 foot deeper this time compared to the last time I went fishing. And I was out there 3 hours because I went down there about 5:30. I didn't come home till right before dark. Boston today. Cool. But I jumped down there around 5:30, got home right at dark, which was around 8:30. Put the boat back on the back porch, brought my fishing gear back in and put it away. So I didn't catch anything, got skunked, but I got to do a first testing of the Wasabi Power batteries. Now, I had some people comment on my videos saying that they do good in the beginning, but they don't last as long as a GoPro Hero 5 factory battery. That I can believe. I haven't I haven't had mine long enough to tell that yet. Another person said, watch the charger because it'll tell you they're charged when you take them off and put them into your camera. Then they could only be like 85%, and you may have to put them back into the charger and finish topping them off. Well, so far, I haven't had that effect. I put mine in the charger, brought them out, put them in the camera, turned the camera on, and it said 100%. So that's been good so far. Now, what I want to tell you, the update, when I run this battery, fully charged, 100% when I go out on the lake, it's giving me 59 minutes, 1080 at 60 frames a second. And it's giving me an hour and 21 to an hour and 23 minutes, 1080p, 30 frames per second. That's what it gives me. I have a 32 gig memory card in my GoPro Hero 5 Black. I took these two out yesterday. Went fishing on the kayak. Like I said, was out there for over 3 hours. I ran both these dry. Each one of them, my memory card filled up before they died. My memory card, my 32 gig memory card filled up. Each battery I would put in, I would put the battery in, clear out the memory card, start a video. The battery would run through. The video card would say SD card full. I would clear it out, put another battery in, start it again, and it did that. This battery has never ran. The original has never ran until the video card filled all the way up. No matter what setting I put it on, whether it be 1080p, 30 or 60. I think it's like an hour and 45 minutes. An hour and 45 minutes on each battery right at 1080p, 30 frames per second. I mean, come on. You can't hardly beat that, an hour and 45 minutes. Right at more or less. It might have been an hour and 43. But it was somewhere around an hour and 43 to an hour and 45 each battery. And like I said, the GoPro Hero 5 Black has a 32 gig memory card in it. And it's not no garbage memory card. Here's my memory card. My memory card is a 32 gig right there. It is one of those SanDisk Extremes, the U3 version. And it did a number. I mean, I was like shocked. I'm sitting there going, wow, the memory card's telling me it's full and I've still got battery power? Because the memory card would beep, let me know it was full. I would look at the camera and say memory card full or SD card full. I would look down at the battery life and I would still have another 7% left. So I would pull the memory card. I would clear out the memory card real quick, run that 7% doing video. And when I got through adding up all the video, that's what I said. It was like an hour and 43, hour and 45. And that was on each battery. So you're looking at over 3 hours between two batteries. And that's all I used yesterday was just these two Wasabi ones, the Wasabi power batteries. And it was over 3 hours. Because you figure, if it was an hour and 45, hour and 45, Wasabi power. You can find them on Amazon.com. You can find them on Walmart.com. You can find them on eBay. eBay, Amazon, or Walmart.com. Now, if you go on Walmart.com, you can type in GoPro Hero 5 battery or GoPro Hero 5 Black battery. Type that in, and it's one of the searches that it'll bring up will be them. Here is the charger. It is input 5 volt, 2 amp, output 4.4 volt, 700 milliamp hours. And like I said, it'll charge 3 batteries at one time. So I put the GoPro Hero 5 black battery in there, plus both Wasabi power batteries in there, and I generally charge them all together. Now, I'm going to do another test again, because like I said, this is only the first time using these batteries. So this is just my initial thoughts on these batteries. So far, I'm loving them. I mean, come on. You go all the way to, you used up your 32 gig memory card, it's full, and you still got battery life left. That's pretty good, in my opinion, for some $17.99, $18 batteries. Now, of course, on Walmart.com, you got to order $35 to get them shipped for free, unless you just want to pay the shipping charge. And on Amazon, if you don't have, that Amazon Prime, you have to pay shipping unless it's $25 order or more. And on eBay, it just all depends on who the seller is. But I know on eBay, I've seen them for around $20, $23 with free shipping. So somewhere between $18 and $25, you should be able to get you 2 batteries and a charger for a GoPro Hero 5 Black and be good to go. Now, a year down the road, will this one probably still be going? Yes. Will these still be going and holding a good charge? I don't know. I've never used these batteries before. That's why this is my initial impressions. So far, I love them because they did the job. They outlasted the GoPro Hero 5 Black battery. So, you can't beat them as of right now. What's up, Steve? Good to have you in the house tonight. Good to hear from you, my friend. But now, I love the fact that I went out on the lake yesterday, even though I got skunked. I didn't like that part. But you have those days. I did not like getting skunked. But getting to go out there and try out these batteries still meant it was a worthwhile trip. What's up, Tom Hobbies? What's up, buddy? Good to have you here. And Steve, you were asking, those batteries working good for you? Yeah. Right now, as of right now, they're outdoing the GoPro Hero 5 Black battery that came with my camera. And this was supposed to be a brand new battery that came with it when I bought it. So far, these are outperforming it so far. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool, especially for the price. I mean, you're talking $18 for a couple batteries and a charger. $18 for 2 batteries and a charger. And then all you got to do is pay the shipping. Well, if you get them from Walmart.com or from Amazon.com. But you can go on eBay and you can probably get them for around $22, $25. I'm talking about for the 2 batteries and the triple charger. But an hour and 42 to an hour and 45 minutes at 1080p 30 from each battery. That's what I got out there yesterday when I went fishing. You show 100% charge when you put them in the GoPro. Yeah, because I remember what you told me about charging them in the controller, in the battery charger, and then taking them out and putting them in the camera. And you said something about 85, 90% was all they were showing, and you'd have to take them back out and put them back over there and top them off. Well, I put them in there, and they were showing 100%. What's up, Dab Smile? Good to have you. But, yeah, man, I checked them in the camera. As soon as they come off the charger, I set them down in the camera, turned the camera on real quick. They said 100%, pop one out, put another one in, said 100%. Yeah, I'm hoping they improved it. But you know, you get what you pay for. So the charger, it's a cheaper made charger than what a GoPro style charger would be. The batteries are a little cheaper made than the GoPro Hero 5 Black battery. But I mean, come on. You're getting 2 batteries and a charger for as cheap, if not cheaper, than what one GoPro Hero 5 Black battery would cost you without any kind of charger. You know? Yeah. Yeah, it happens some days. Sometimes I get more, sometimes I get less. It is what it is. Not everybody loves what I talk about. Not everybody even likes what I talk about. But, you know, that's the way it goes. But yeah, man, an hour and 42 minutes to an hour and 45 minutes on each one of those batteries. And Steve, what was tripping is I made it to like 7% on the first battery. And I hear beep, beep, beep. And I look down at the camera and it says SD card full. And I've got a 32 gig SanDisk. So good name memory card. It was already full. So I just reached in there, deleted the video because I hadn't caught any fish or done anything. Deleted the video, started recording again, went for a little bit more time. And then I added that time on what I had went for before the memory card filled up. And it ended up being somewhere along an hour and 42 to an hour and 45 minutes. Yeah, I saw the way it looked out there today. I can imagine what it's going to look like by the end of June. Say 2 weeks to 4 weeks from now. It's going to be like Jurassic Park. Don't go in the long grass. You ain't going to be able to see anything in front of you hardly. You just be throwing out there. But yeah. So, first impression of these two so far. Very impressed with them for what I paid. I mean, come on. $17.99 for 2 batteries and a charger. Yeah, very impressed with them. Now, if they'll just hold up, if I get a year out of them for $17.99, I won't be upset. I'll be thrilled because I'll be like, I spent $18, bought 2 batteries, they lasted me a year. Now I need to buy some more. That's why you don't want to fall in those spots. I can imagine that. Fall in something, get hung up and stuff, and can't hardly get out. But yeah, man, I'm extremely pleased with the battery so far. And right as of right now, what I'm going to do, since I already know what the GoPro Hero 5 Black lasts, since I already know what it does, I'm just going to use these 2 for my next couple fishing trips so I can see how they're holding up after charging them a couple times, see if I'm still getting those battery times. You know, because a lot of batteries, they're like one-hit wonders. They'll give you one good time of doing a lot of time on them, and then they drop down a little bit each time after that. Whereas other batteries, they'll give you a good time, but after you charge them 2 or 3 times, they actually reach their peak potential, and they'll do you even better. Glad they're working out great for you. Yeah, me too. Thanks, Steve. Tom Hobbies, when you go put that boat in the water? When you go put that new boat in the water? That's a nice looking 55-pound boat you got there. Saturday? Cool. I'll keep an eye out for the video. Now, what's up, massive clouds? What is going on? Oh, Muskie Open Saturday. Cool. You're going to at least film some of it, right? You're going to film some of it at least, right? Or at least I hope so. You gonna try? Cool, because I'd like to take a look at some of that. I mean, even if you only get about 15 minutes of you actually fishing, hey, that's cool with me. You know, like just leave the camera off, get out to where you're going to fish, turn it on, shoot some of your time fishing, maybe catching one, and then, you know, whatever. But yeah, man, I was telling everybody else that we got hit with massive rain for almost 2 weeks straight here where I live. The water level down there in my cove I go to had come up by right at 2 feet. It was 2 feet deeper than it normally is. Right there at the bank where I launch. So normally where I step down and launch, I couldn't go that far down. It was further back up the bank where I had to launch it at. Spot I fish gets covered in lily pads so much. It's fully green, no space. And they are grown like a foot high above the water with Bigfoot or larger leaves. Looks like you can walk across the top of them. Wow. Yeah, I haven't seen too much of that around this lake here. You got some stuff that sticks up out of the water. Kind of looks like, you know, lily pads here and there. Off at a distance right near the bank. But not a lot of it. Bought the whole SLX line of reels. I hear you. Well, did you ever decide on a kayak or John boat or what you were going to do about a boat? Massive clouds. I will get some videos showing it when it grows more. It's crazy. I think I saw that last year. One of your videos you put up when you were out there. I know I saw your video of you in your inflatable boat when you had it out there. And I know the biggest thing that scares me on your type of inflatable boat that you had, Steve, is the fish fit in the side of the boat. Decided to wait and get a John boat. Oh, cool. But yeah, Steve, I was looking at the Sevlar Fish Hunter. I think it's the 280. Yeah, that's bad, but the other pond by the street is insane. But yeah, my biggest fright or biggest worry with the Sevlar, like a Sevlar 280 Fish Hunter, something like that. Good price on them. It says 4-man, but realistically, it looks like 2-man. You know, like you could fit 2 people in there halfway comfortable. Yeah. And it says Fish Hunter, you know, it's got a couple rod holders, blah, blah, blah. But my biggest issue is nothing over here on the sides. If you catch a fish and you're trying to bring them in and they swing around and come up and hit the side of that boat, my biggest issue is one of their fins hitting the side of that boat. But like you and other people have said, a lot of those inflatable boats like that have 2 and 3 air chambers. I've seen some that have 4 and 5. And that gives you a long time to get back to the bank before it sinks. Because it's not, you know, really going to sink all the way. If you got 3 air chambers and you puncture one of them, say by catching a fish, well, you still got 2. You should be able to get back to the bank fine. But now, if you've only got 1 air chamber and you puncture it, you know, yeah, you're a little more in trouble. That's the bad thing about some of your inflatable boats. Some of them are just 1 solid air chamber. Some of them have 2. Some have 3. I think like this half of the boat on some of them will be 1 chamber. This side of the boat will be 1 chamber. And then you'll have the floor will be a chamber as well. That way it gives you 3 chambers. Yeah, that would suck. You're out there fishing. A fish hits the side of your boat with a fin, punctures it, and if it's only got 1 chamber, that boat's going down pretty quick if you finned it pretty good. So you better be paddling back quick. And if you're out on some choppy water, oh man, that's going to be a slow time getting back to the bank. But some of these ones that have 3 chambers, 2 chambers, 4 chambers, some of those look like, hey, oh, sorry about the camera. I must have blocked part of the lighting. Sorry about that for that second. I must have messed up the lighting for a second when I leaned forward and hit something. But, yeah. I looked at one. What was it? It was a Kevlar. I can't remember the exact name. It was a red and silver inflatable kayak. And it's got inflatable floor, inflatable sides. And this thing, I saw a guy catch a bass. And when he brought the bass in, the bass come and hit the side of the boat. Just bounced away. He reached over there and put his hand out there. No air. And he said, well, I've been fishing out of this boat for going on 2 years now. No punctures. So, but that was a pricier boat. It was a fishing version, a little pricier. I fish in the winter with ice on the ponds. Probably why you thought I was. I'd like to have one of those 10-foot pontoons. I've been looking at the actual 8-foot ones. Or I'm looking at the inflatable though. I think that Intex Pro Grade gray one is made much stronger. Yeah. You see the one I was talking about? The Intex Excursion. I think it's the Intex Excursion Pro Fishing Kayak. It's a red and gray or red and silver, whichever way you want to call it. I mean, you know, some people would say it's red and gray. Some would say it's red and silver. Either or, doesn't matter. But yeah, my Intex is like a toy and it still worked good. But how is it? How was yours on a windy day? You know, like trying to get it back to shore. Did it still move in the water pretty good? Or was it like, no, I'm not going nowhere till the wind slacks up? It was only $60 free shipping. Yeah, I recently looked at the Fish Hunter. Is the Fish Hunter 280 is the number. You got a Fish Hunter 280 and you got a Fish Hunter 360. The Fish Hunter 280 is supposed to be for 4 people. The Fish Hunter 360 is supposed to be for 6. I would cut that down by 2. I would say the 280 Fish Hunter is for 4 people. You know, I would say it's for 2. The one that says it's for 6, which is the 360, I would say that one's only for 4. Because I've looked at I saw the opening of these things when people would get in them, and I just don't see 4 people. Yeah, that Seahawk 2. Yeah, it's a blue and gray one. It's the one I looked at. It's blue and gray, the fishing version. It's called the Fish Hunter. You got 2 Berkeley rod holders right back here for the person sitting at the back. Mine says for 2, but it's good for, yeah. I think you cut whatever it says in half. If it says it can hold 8 people, more or less 4 people can get on there decently comfortable. If it says 4, cut it down to 2. You know? If it says 3, 1 grown up, maybe 1 kid. Or 1 grown up and some fishing tackle. You know? But, yeah, I looked at them. I looked at the gray and red one. Yeah, I've seen people take pool noodles, and what they'll do is they cut a section of wood to put down in the floor area, and then they take like the pool noodle and they cut it open on one side, and they shove that onto the board all the way around the board, so that way the board doesn't try to rip the boat. And they were putting them down in there like that with either pipe insulation, the black pipe insulation you can get for your under your house, or they were using pool noodles and putting around the boards and then putting them down in the floor. Yeah, Intex Mariner 3 boat. I saw a white one with a red and gray stripe that looks just like the Intex Mariner 3 on eBay. It says for 3 to 4 people, and that thing looked pretty good. If I put a wood floor in it and a normal seat, it would be way better than my kayak. Now, I'm going to tell you, the one thing I found out yesterday, went out doing a test on these batteries and out there getting skunked when I was fishing, my kayak does not like wind and water, not the heavy currents. The Mariner 3 is Intex's Pro Series boat. Yeah, I saw one. I don't know if it was the Mariner 3 or a knockoff version of it, but this one said it sits 3 to 4 people, and it looked just like the one you sent me the link to, but the price was better, so it may have been a knockoff version. I mean, yeah, I saw one guy, what he did was he cut his sections of floor to put in there, and then he hooked each piece of floor to the next piece of floor with hinges. That way he could just fold it up like this and make it easy for him to carry without dropping it. And then he carries it down there, lays it down in the boat before he starts inflating, opens it up with the hinges, and then inflates the boat up, you know. Say it's so much easier, Steve, to take it fishing than the kayak, huh? Well, that's also where you went, though. You haven't had a chance to take your kayak to like a state park where you can just pull down near the boat ramp, take your kayak off your bug, set it right there beside the boat ramp, get your gear out, set it there, move your car out of the way, and then put your boat in the water. Now, the kayaks are pretty easy when you can put them right in the water. Now, if you got to drag them through the woods, 200 or 300 feet or the length of a football field, no. Yes, an inflatable is way easier. You just pull up to the water if you can get to it, set it down on the ground, inflate it, put it down in the water, and go. I got my kiddo, so I figured a John boat would be better. Well, a John boat definitely should be more stable. Old flat bottom John boat, I mean, they're a lot more stable. Put a rudder on your kayak like I did on my Coosa, made out of a gate hinge, makes it way better in the wind. I put that vid up if you want to check it out. I may have to go check that out, man, because mine, I got in some choppy water. This is the first time I'd been on any chop. I mean, where you could actually see the waves, and the wind's just, you can see the trees just doing this, and the wind's blowing me backwards, and I'm paddling, and it just felt like you wasn't hardly going anywhere. And then you just like this every time you paddle because you're all on that chop. And I'm like, it took the kayak and the speed of my kayak, it cut it down to half or less. Like that. I mean, as soon as I hit that choppy water and hit that wind, it was like somebody was grabbing the back of my kayak, holding me back, and I was paddling against them. No stringing them up on the roof, putting the system on the roof first and stuff. Inflatable folds up size. Small, throw it in the trunk and fill it with air with the battery pump. And it weighs light as paper. So if you put a rudder on there, it makes it where every stroke's 100% forward motion, huh? I may have to look into that. Because that thing, man, I was going forward. That I was doing. But it was just like, it was like I was against a brick wall or something. Or somebody, like I said, somebody was in the water behind me, holding onto my kayak, just pulling back on it with both arms. Because I'm sitting here just to paddling. And it seemed like I paddled 10 times before I moved one time. And this was a little bit of choppy water, a little bit of wind, maybe some gusts of 10 mile an hour, 15 at the most. And it was just pushing me back. But when I hit the calm area, oh man, it was just, I was gone then. You know, I love my kayak when it's calm outside. Like 6 mile an hour and under. Oh man, I'm just, the water barely, especially back here in the cove though. I think that was another thing. I've been fishing it out of the cove this year so far only. And all that down in the cove with all the trees on all the way around it pretty much makes it where it cuts down on the wind. So the water's a lot calmer. But as soon as I come up out of that cove yesterday, it was like I hit a brick wall. Because all that choppy water was there and all that wind was there. It was quite rough. Mine felt like it went through the water good in the wind, but you don't get blown around, that's for sure. But you do get blown around, that's for sure. Well, I found out something else yesterday. I moved my tackle box from the back to in front of me because I got such short arms. And I just couldn't reach behind me and reach it comfortably and pull it up and bring it around to me and get into it when I was, in the boat. And every time I'd done this, my life vest would try to get hung up on the rod and reel handle over in the rod holder or something, or hung on the seat, and I couldn't hardly get it wearing the life vest. So I brought it up in front of me. And I noticed yesterday, even when I was in the cove, back in the calm section, every time I quit paddling now, every time, my boat takes a left. I'll be paddling along, going straight. As soon as I quit paddling, my boat veers to the left. But I had saw that in some other kayak guys' videos. They said if you weight the front of your boat with anything substantial, it can cause your boat to go left or right when you quit paddling more. They said basically it's you not having the weight bias set right for when you're paddling. And I'm like, oh well, it is what it is. I'm not going to put it in the back of the boat just because, he wants to go to the right or go to the left a little bit when I quit paddling. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they help. But think about it. You got one here, and they're sitting out like that. Lean right, it'll go to the left. If you lean to the left, it'll go to the right. Because like I said, I'll be just sitting there upright like this with the tackle box sitting up there a little bit further up past my knees. In between my knees and my feet, I got the tackle box sitting up there. And as soon as I quit paddling, and it didn't do that before I put the tackle box up front. True. It does kind of look like one of those hydro boats with when I'm on it. Now, this is just curiosity question here. Get everybody's opinion. What does everybody think of those Colorado accessories, inflatable kayaks? Weathercocking is what it's doing. Yeah, make a big remote control boat out of the kayak, huh? Take you a drill, run you a shaft down, hook you a drill battery in, drill motor, run it up to an ESC, hook it up to a controller, and then just go across the lake doing this. The only problem is it's kind of hard to keep it going while you're trying to fish. You'd have to stop and sit somewhere. But I know some people's probably already doing that. Because somebody's always trying something new. But yeah, man, it didn't go to one side or the other. I can probably pull my kayak with my brushless airboat. Oh, update on my kayak cart. Update on the kayak cart. I love the kayak cart. The strap that comes with it is crap. My opinion, hey, it is what it is. The kayak cart, I love it, but the straps are crap. And I took the strap and I put it on by the directions, which I still have, put it around, and ended up going through that crate when I had the crate on there. And it was trying to come off by the time I would get to the water. Any way to get on the water is great, man. True. Well, anyway, I took the strap, I tightened it up as tight as I could get it, and by the time I'd get halfway to the water down there, it'd be done worked itself loose, and the wheels would be trying to slide to the back of the kayak. And anytime I hit a stick or anything else, it would try to pull the wheels out from under it. So I added bungee cords. I took bungee cords, run them through the kayak crate, and then come down and hooked them under there on the bars, right there at the wheels. So I had the strap and the 4 bungee cords. It would hold it, but it would still slip. Well, I took the crate off because I said I wasn't able to use it. And I was walking down to the lake one day to go fishing in the hole, back there in my cove, and I had it just strapped on with the strap. Didn't have the crate on there. None of that. I'm walking down there, halfway down. The wheels walk out from under it. Just whoop, right out from under the back of it. I put the wheels back up under it, strap it back down real good. I get from that spot to where you got to climb a little bit of a hill, and there's a few twigs and stuff, pulls the wheels out from under it again. I put them under it one more time, and by the time I got from there to halfway to the water through the high grass, they came out from under it again. I folded them up, threw them over in the woods, drug the boat down to the water, went and did my fishing trip, come out, put the boat back up there near it, laid them up on the boat, grabbed the boat by the handle, found some grass that I could walk through, and basically walked the edge of the road through grass pretty much all the way home, dragging it. And my boat weighs 50 pounds without anything on it. So you figure I'm dragging 50 pounds behind me with my fishing gear. So probably about 60, 65. So my idea was Ratchet tie-down straps. what Massive Cloud said earlier. Can you use a ratchet strap? Man, that sucks. Throw the kayak on your back. Man, I'm only 5'4". I don't think I want to throw a 10-foot kayak up on my back and try to walk all the way down there with a 50-pound kayak that's 10 foot long. That's why I bought the cart. But I paid $35 for the cart. The cart is okay. It's not the cart. It's just a strap. What it is the way they've got it. When you tighten it up, it doesn't hold good, and it slowly lets that line get pulled back through the connection where it holds it. And it just slowly releases the line until it loosens up. And the wheels, every time you hit a pine cone or stick or something like that, they just work their way further back. So I went and bought 2 ratchet tie-down straps for putting it up on the car if I needed to. Well, they were too long. And I had lost my receipt, so I couldn't take them back and exchange them for shorter ratchet tie-down straps. So what I did was I went out there and measured my kayak across and down the sides and down to where the bars would be I need them to connect onto. Measured that out, come back in, left a little extra on there, took the straps out all together, took the strap out, cut off part of it, and fed in what I felt like would be a good amount. Fed it in real good, took them out there, hooked them onto the bar, threw it over the kayak, come over here, hooked it on this bar, ratcheted it, got it snug, but not tight, just snug. Then went to the other one, put it on, snugged it up, and then cranked each one of them down about 2 more cranks. And you can see the kayak do this when I did that. Why it done snugged it down real good. It just dropped down a little bit. I'm like, that should hold it. So when I went out yesterday, that was my first test. I just grabbed it by the handle, pulled it from the top part of the porch down to the steps, and then pulled it down the steps, made it all the way down, went around the side of the house, which is full of pine cones and sticks from all the pine trees I've got, drug it around to the front, walked it up to beside my car, loaded my fishing gear on it, walked it all the way down to that little hill I got to climb over when you go off the road into the woods, went up on it, drug it down to the lake, undone the ratchet tie-down straps, slid the cart out from under it, folded the cart up, lifted up the bungee system, put it up in the back of the kayak, put the 2 ratchet tie-down straps up there, let go of the bungees to hold it, put my life vest on, slid the boat into the water, climbed on it, went fishing for about 3.5 hours. And it worked perfect going down there. When I came back, I got caught up on a root, and it loosened one of the ratchet straps like 1 notch, but it never moved. Because when I got home, when I was grabbing them doing this, it sounded almost like a guitar string, ding, ding, ding. You know, when you hit it. When I got home, this one wasn't doing that at the front, but the back one was still good and snug. So it really would take a lot to make them come loose. So I think I'm good with my ratchet tie-down straps. Now the cart should be worked good for me. Dang, you should put a steerable caster wheel on the front. You can sit on it and drive it down the street to that lake. Ah, I like that one, Steve. Actually, what I wanted to set of the wheels. You had your wheels out here. You had a bar come across here. And then you had 2 bars that come up like this. And they went up through your scupper holes in the back. You push them up through there. And that way you ain't got to worry about the kayak coming off of it. You grab the handle, roll it down to where you want it. And then when you get to where you're going, you lift up, reach up under there, grab the bar, and lift the back of the kayak up off of there. Set the bars to the side, and then put it back up under there. But every one I looked at on eBay, the dimensions when you shrunk it down or made it bigger wasn't enough to fit mine. It was either too small and couldn't get big enough to fit it, or it was too big and you couldn't shrink it down small enough to fit where my scupper holes are at. So when I saw that, I'm like, okay, I can't buy a different one. I ain't going to be able to use a different one. So what can I do to make the one that I bought work? And I found what I could do to make the one I bought work, which was ratchet tie-down straps. So now it's good. Yeah, they can be the weak spots, but since I'm only carrying it from here 5 minutes down the street to the water, shouldn't be that big of a issue. But I really didn't want to change if I didn't have to, since I'd already spent like $35 on a kayak cart. I was hoping I could come up with another idea. Yeah, they say those wheel carts make your yak leak from poles going in them. Well, I guess it's a good thing I went with the ones I did go with in the first place. Because, mine just slides up under there. The yak sits on top of it, and then you strap it down. And then you grab it up by the handle and walk it to where you need to go. True. And now that I got the ratchet tie-down straps on there, I should be golden. Plus, I keep my boat up on the back porch. And I got a cover over my back porch, a roof over it. So my kayak's not just sitting out in the weather like some people. Some people, they leave them out in the weather. Mine's at least up on the back porch, not getting all the weather. Yeah, it gets a little bit of sun that comes in on the porch. If the wind blows dirt up on the porch, it gets on it, leaves. Rain blows over to it sometimes, but not that often. That's why I put it on the back porch, so at least it's somewhat protected. And it's not getting 100% direct sun to any part of the boat, so I ain't got to worry about too much there. But, so, sometimes, you can have a bad day fishing, but still end up having a productive day. Because, okay, I went out there fishing for over 3 hours, like 3.5 hours, from like 5 something to 8 something. Only thing I did was learn some stuff. Didn't catch anything, didn't get any bites, but tested out the 2 Wasabi power batteries and found out that they hold and last longer than the GoPro battery right now. Plus, I found out my kayak cart works better now with the ratchet tie-down straps. First time testing them out, found out they work good with it. First time testing the batteries out, found out they work good. And I also found out, hey, Drew, if you're out here fishing and the water gets choppy, you ain't going to hardly go forward with any speed. You'll go forward, but not with no speed. I mean, it was like a baby out there swimming. I mean, it just wasn't wanting to go forward fast because of the, choppy water. Now, I'm not going to open this tonight, guys. But I got a video coming on this. This just came in the mail. This is from an online tackle place that I found online. I was searching the internet, looking at different things. And when I was doing one of my searches about inflatable boats and kayaks and other things, I found a link that took me to a fishing tackle site. So I decided to go there. And they had a good sale going on because it was right there, a holiday, one of those like Memorial Day weekend type deals, Labor Day sales. So I went on there and ordered me some stuff. And I'll be putting a video up the next couple days with the stuff I got. I'll be naming the site that I got it from when I open it up. I'll name the site where I got them. I'll tell the deal that I got and everything. Yeah, same here. I learned a lot about fishing on the new Yak. Next time it should be much better when I use it. True. Yeah, man. Every time you go out there until you really get used to that Yak, it's a new adventure because you're learning something that maybe you didn't know the first time you were out there. No, not yet. But I got this package here, like I said, on an online tackle store. And I'll have that video up in the next couple of days. And I think I got a well of a deal for what I paid. I'll tell you about the thing they were doing. It was a little, holiday celebration they were doing. And they had a good deal. You had to buy a certain amount of items to get the discount. But man, when you buy that certain amount, they let you see exactly what you would have spent if you didn't buy the amount. And I got to looking at it, and it was going to be like triple. Oh, you ain't guessing what all's in here. Steve, you're close. You're close, but not quite there. But yeah, man, I can't wait to do an unboxing on that one. Cause, like I said, it was the first time I'd been on this company's website, and they were running a promotion. And I go on there, and I'm adding stuff to cart just to see what the stuff's gonna cost. And I'm looking at it, and I'm up to like $35, $38, and I put like 8 or 9 items in the cart, and I'm like, wow. And then I put that 10th item, and then the price slashed. And I was like, woo. I'm like, this is cool. Well, I got something that I don't have any of. One thing I bought, I don't have any of them. And I got some other stuff to try that I've never fished with. Like, say, brands that I've never fished with. But it was a good deal. But I'll have that video up in probably the next couple of days. And I will have a name. I'll put the name of the company that I got them from. That way, if you guys want to go on there and check out some stuff, they've got a little bit of everybody on there. I saw stuff from, I think, Rebel. I saw stuff from Yum. I saw stuff from, what is it, Gary Yamamoto or whatever. The guy that does the Senkos and everything. I saw a lot of different types of tackle on there. But what I was doing was I was on the internet looking at different inflatable kayaks, rafts, the boat kind of like what Steve had. And then I was looking at an inflatable pontoon. Classic Accessories has them. And they had from the basic model, which is like an 8-foot one, 8 or 9-foot one, up to the deluxe model, which comes with a transport wheel under the back of it, so you can blow it up at your car, put that wheel under it, grab it up by the front of it, and just walk it down to the water. And right as you start putting the front of it in the water, you just undo the wheel and get it out of the way, and then tie the boat up to the pier real quick. Go back, grab your gear, get in it, and go. But I looked at the basic model they have that doesn't come with the wheel or the place to mount the trolling motor. This was just the basic one. The basic one runs for around $250, depending on where you get them. Sometimes you can find them for around $200. Sometimes they run you around $250. But they don't have the place to put the trolling motor or anything like that, and they don't have the wheel for rolling it around. But I watched a guy's video where he took the basic one, and after he decided that he actually liked it and wanted to keep it, then he went and bought the basket part that has the bracket at the back for the trolling motor. He went and bought that part and changed out the part at the back for that part. He just went on their site, bought that section, got it to his house, slid it on there, locked it in place, and put a trolling motor on it. Did you know you can hook a motor on my inflatable boat? Yeah. Yeah, a lot of those, the Sevlars, the Intexes, a lot of them are made where you can hook a small outboard or a trolling motor. Now, to be honest, I wouldn't put an outboard motor on one. Me. That's just me. To me, I'd just put a trolling motor on one. That way I ain't got to worry about the gas or none of that. You know, I can just put me a battery right back there, hook me a trolling motor to it, maybe get you like a 45, 55-pound thrust trolling motor, and get out there and go. You know? Yeah, I just don't see putting a 1.5 horsepower gas motor on one when I could just put 45, 55-pound thrust trolling motor on there. You know, that way you ain't got that much weight on it. You got that little trolling motor hanging on the back of that inflatable boat, so there ain't that much weight there. And then your battery, you know, you ain't got to have you ain't got the gas tank loaded with gas. You just got your battery there. And if you're one of those people that only go fishing for 1 or 2 hours or 3 hours at a time, then you don't need the bigger battery. You can get a battery that's rated, you know, like so many hours. Take it out there, go fish for a couple hours, maybe set the alarm on your phone, and then just head back. So that way you know you leave yourself a couple hours to get back, or a couple hours extra life on the battery. That way you don't have to put a heavy battery in there, you know. You just don't want to go overboard with the sizes of everything. You seen the Garmin trolling motors? They have the remote so you can move your boat while on land. No, I haven't seen them yet. Yeah. I'd believe that, Steve. As much junk as you bring out every time you're fishing, all them land bass and scum bass you be catching, yeah, that would eat up a trolling motor. I believe it would burn up a trolling motor. Unless you get one that's got a lifetime warranty on it, yeah. Because then you can just go back and say, hey, man, I ran it one time out at the state park and it quit working. Steve fishing mini barracuda. Yeah, weed bass. Weed bass 9,000. Imagine a trolling motor out in that. Especially a cheaper name. But you know, some of the like Minn Kotas are supposed to be ranked really good. If you burn it up, you could probably go back and just get another one. And then you'd know then, hey, I can't use that out here. But you'd have to make sure it had a good warranty on it before you took it out there. How come I never seen pickerel? Depends on where you're fishing, man. Even Marshall catches a pickerel, yeah. Marshall down here in South Carolina catching a pickerel. I had never caught a pickerel before, so that was a first for me. I was actually excited about catching that for a couple reasons. Never caught a pickerel in my life. First time I caught anything on the kayak in that cove. And it was my first fish of 2020. So, hey, it was perfect catching that fish. And then I went fishing a week or two later with some worms, with some red worms. And all I caught was like one bluegill. But that was over there at the pier that I go to sometimes. I can't dip my paddles deep. I only dip them slightly in the surface so they get stuck with and covered with all the crap. And you get stuck. Wow. They are crazy. They are so aggressive. Bass feel like guppies next to pickerels. Well, see, that's what I thought when I first took them and started reeling him in. I'm like, man, I must have a good bass. Because, you know, he was pulling and fighting. And then when I saw him jump, I'm like, that didn't look like a bass. Because I didn't get a good view of him, but I was like, that didn't look like a bass. And then when I got him close to the boat, he come up again, and I was like, that ain't a bass. You know. But yeah. But yeah, I'm looking forward to doing this for y'all guys. Like I said, maybe y'all can find something on there y'all like too. And they have different deals. They sent me a email the day after I bought the stuff, showing me a bunch of other stuff they had put on sale. And then they sent me another thing talking about a Father's Day sale that's going to be going on. And then today, they sent me something saying they're offering free shipping if you order within the next 2 to 3 days. But that'll be in the video, Massive Cloud. I'm gonna try to do that video tomorrow, tonight or tomorrow, and either get it put up tomorrow or the next day. But yeah, I mean, they normally charge like, I think it's $5.95 flat rate shipping. Yeah, flat rate shipping $5.95 for what you offer out of you buy off of there. Trying to get hits. Yeah, didn't quite work the way you wanted it to. They offer $5.95 flat rate shipping most of the time, but sometimes they'll run specials where you can just get free shipping. I didn't get lucky the day that I caught the sale I caught. I caught an awesome sale, but then I paid $5.95 shipping. But still, I still didn't even spend. I didn't even spend $15, and you know, got that package with the stuff I got and got it shipped. Now, I think when they offer some specials, you have to pay for shipping, and then certain times you pay full price for the items, but you get free shipping. It all depends. Just depends when you go on the site and what you're looking at. Oh, come on, by that time, the sale will be over. Well, the one sale won't. The free shipping, that's for the next 2 or 3 days. The other sale is already ended. It ended, I think, Monday or Tuesday. The sale I used to get the stuff. That ended like Monday or Tuesday. So you ain't getting the exact sale I used to get the stuff. But right now they're running, like, I think it's the next 3 days, free shipping on their stuff. And they got another sale. They were showing me like packs of hooks. And they look pretty good. Name brand hooks for 60 cents. And different things, like just different things you can catch on there at different times. So that's why I immediately created me an account and signed up to their website so they would start sending me emails and letting me know about what deals they have and what specials they're running. Because you never know what you might catch on sale. Who knows? I might get lucky and catch a Gary Yamamoto on sale one of these times. Stop teasing us. Yeah. You guys ever tried Trocar hooks? I heard they were really good. I watched 2 guys that tried them. Said they're made by Eagle Claw, but they're like the best of the best when it comes to the Eagle Claw hooks. And the guy said he had never had a problem with the Trocars. Said they were really good. And the other guy that was fishing with him said same there. They had always hooked up real good. But I've never tried them myself. Now, the Matsu ones I just started trying seem to work real nice. Now, on those inflatable kayaks, everybody talks about, how good they do and everything. The majority of them, because I've seen the Intex K2, which is yellow and gray. Everybody talks about how good of a kayak that one is, and I actually saw a couple people take it down a river on a little bit of rapids, and that's a pretty rough place to take a cheaper inflatable kayak, and they didn't even get no holes or no leaks. And they've had it a year, and they've taken it down, they said, several rivers. And I was looking at that, and I was looking at more like what Steve's got. And then, like I said, I looked at the inflatable pontoons, and I just went to the classic accessories because they make a good name brand one. And I looked at all the levels of them. The first one, which is their cheapest and smallest, which is like 8 or 9 foot. I think it's 8 foot. Only weighs about 43 and a half pounds, I think it weighs. And it's around $250, I think it is. But yeah, you don't have the place to hook the motor mount. You don't have the place for a motor mount. You don't have the place to hook the battery in that little steel crate back there or whatever, that little wire basket or whatever. But another guy did a video and said you could swap out those 2 sections on those 2 boats. So that way you can run a trolling motor. If you decide you like the pontoon boat and you want to keep it, you just swap that thing out, put that piece on the back, go out and get you a small trolling motor, a battery, and set back there. And you can just reach there and troll around with a trolling motor where you want to go, But $250, I mean, it's kind of hard to beat that for a little inflatable pontoon boat that can hold, I think it's 350 pounds. You ever used the Gamakatsu? Always use them. They're awesome. Hey, Steve, has any of your state parks opened up yet? Or is all that still closed down? Still trying to figure out what's in Marshall's package. Trust me, when y'all see it, I think y'all actually be surprised for what I paid. The one by me still closed. Travel rod and reel. Hey, man, I used to have one. I still got the rod somewhere. When it collapsed down, it was that long. And the little mini reel on it was about this big. Like I said, the rod broke down to about like that. I carried it in a tackle box. I had it in the front of my tackle box in front of all my little trays. And when I get there, I'd put the handle on the reel, stretch out the rod, and go fishing. He got spike it markers. I just know it. Fish finder. Since I already do have one, that's not something I'm jumping on right now. Now, I may later time get an updated one. You know, one that shows better about the floor, the bottom of the lake, and, you know. No yum dingers. I will give away one thing. Not the exact name of it, but I will give away one thing. At least one item is a Yum product. There you go. I gave away one thing. I'm not going to tell you the exact name of it, but I did get one Yum name brand thing off of there. I'm not telling none of the other stuff. Repeat that, laughing out loud. I got one Yum thing I picked off of there. In other words, I was going through all this different stuff, looking at all this different tackle, and I come across some Yum stuff, and I come down through here, and almost all of it's out of stock. And I come across this package of Yum, not going to say what it is, and I'm going, man, I ain't never seen that kind before. And so I bought a Yum item. That's the only thing I'm giving away. Now, back to Tom Hobbies. Are you going to get one of those pontoons, Marshall? I've really considered it. Because what I was thinking, Tom Hobbies, I was thinking, put the frame together, leave the frame sitting up on the back porch. Put the pontoons away somewhere where they're not out in the weather. Since they are cloth, vinyl, veneer, whatever you want to call them, whatever they're made of, I don't want to leave them outside like that. Put them away somewhere. If nothing else, put them in the floorboard of the car, put them in the back hatch of the car, cover them over with a jacket, leave them back there so the sun doesn't get to them, whatever. Or bring them in the house, put them in the closet. But just take the frame, nothing else, and go ahead and put the frame together and just leave it sitting up on the back porch. If nothing else. That way, all I got to do is walk the frame around front, slide it up in the back of the car, lay the pontoons in there, drive down there to the lake, pull the pontoons out, inflate them, strap the frame onto it. You should just go out fishing on one of those big truck tubes. Man, I looked at one of those inflatable float tube chairs. I actually looked at one of those. Comes around and just looks like a chair. And from your knees down or in the water. But we have a lot of water moccasins near where I live. So I don't particularly want my feet, legs, all the way up to my knees in the water the whole time I'm out there fishing. I'm out there sitting in this chair right on top of the water, and my knees down are in the water, and I'm doing this fishing. I'm not paying attention to right there where my knees and everything are at. Fish could just swim right up and bite me. At least on the pontoon, my seat's up on all the way up on top of the pontoons, up pretty high. I put my legs up on the two bars. But now, the one I looked at, the cheap one I looked at, it's Colorado Accessories. It's the basic model. Doesn't even come with the swivel seat, but you can buy the swivel base to add to it for $8. So what you do is you buy the system, buy that swivel mount, bring it home. When you get it home, go ahead when the first time you put it together, add that swivel base to it, put your seat to that, and that way you make it where it'll swivel. Snapping turtle, oh no. Yeah, I don't like the idea of my legs from my knees down being down in the water. I just don't like that idea. Snapping turtles, snakes. I mean, trust me. I mean, I know a snake can get in my kayak. Duh. But one of us is going to leave the kayak pretty quickly. Either him or me is abandoning the kayak. One or the other. That's just the way it is. I'm not friendly with snakes. I'm either going to take the paddle and try to scoot him out of there, a rod and try to knock him out of there, or I'm going off the kayak and leaving him in the boat. Either one. I'm not a fan of snakes. I'll admit it. Especially not water moccasins. I mean, to be honest. Now, corn snake, they're pretty cool. I actually almost bought one time. But water moccasin, no, I don't want to play with them. Don't want to play with them. Don't want to visit. Don't want them living with me. No. And snapping turtle, trip to the hospital, yeah. And if you way out on the boat somewhere or tube somewhere, and it's going to take you a long time because you say you're kicking with your feet or something in a tube to get all the way back to the bank, be done die before you get to the car, much less the ER. A lot of those you see are mostly water snakes. They kind of look like them. People mix them up like 90% of the time. Yeah, but see, that's the problem. If you're not sure, right at that moment it bites you or goes to bite you, you're going to freak just because you think it's what it is. You know, you're thinking it's a water moccasin, whether it is or not. Them cat eyes. But yeah, I'm thinking about the inflatable pontoon though. Just for the fact that I can just put it in the back of the Outback out there, the Subaru Outback, slide the frame up in there, and even if I have to take part of the frame apart, slide the frame up in there, slide the pontoons up in there, put the fishing gear to one side, drive down to the water, pull everything out, inflate it, put the fishing gear right beside it, move the car out of the way, lock the car up, launch the boat, go out there and fish, and you're setting up more like you're in a regular boat when you're on the pontoon ones, even the inflatable pontoons. And I've heard those things are super stable. I mean, come on, they're like real wide, about 8 foot long. Some of them are 9 foot long, I think. The one I'm looking at, I think, is 8. There's some that are 9 and 10, but the one I'm looking at is like 8 foot long pontoons, but it's really wide. This thing looks to be 4 foot or 5 foot wide altogether. So it'd be really stable sitting out there. You know, I mean, you go to turn around to get something, or, you know, if you got a ship like this, you ain't got to worry about immediately capsizing. So, yeah, I'm considering one. Not saying I'm going to buy one, but I am considering it. One thing I like about the kayak is when it's on the boat, people stare at it because it looks cool on it. True. But yeah, I'm considering the inflatable pontoon. I really am. And I actually went on one site the other day and saw that they actually come out with an almost neon green version. Looks almost the same color as my kayak. And I'm sitting there going, that would be just perfect. because that would give me that high visibility on the water. You know, kind of like the kayak does. And see, if I don't like the seat that comes in it, later time you could upgrade and put you more like a bass seat on there. You know, because of what it is. And like I said, that back part where you put your tackle, you can undo the clips, slide that out, and they say you can put the other one in there that has the like metal system across the back. It has a motor mount right here to put a trolling motor already on it. And later time, if I liked it enough, you know, I could change that out and make it where I could carry a trolling motor if need be. I'm going to put a lawn chair on my kayak. Yeah, now that you got them stabilizers, you should be able to put you a nice seat on there. I mean, with the stabilizers you got, as wide as you got them out there, you should be able to sit up higher than what you were sitting and still do good. Now, me, I would have to get the stabilizers before I could put a better seat on my kayak, because that thing would be, if I put a higher seat. But, I mean, I like what I've got. That 2.5-inch foam, waterproof on the top, waterproof on the bottom, water resist around the sides. So it's pretty good. Unless it just falls in the lake, it's going to be hard to get it wet. Because it's actually out there on my kayak now. All I do is lay the backing of the seat down over it to help keep the majority of water off of it. It feels pretty good. To me, it does. And I probably weigh more than you, so I'm pretty sure I weigh more than you. So it would probably do even better for somebody that's lighter than me. Yeah, a lawn chair would make me way too top heavy on mine. Now, with Steve having those stabilizers out on his, he might still, you know, be pretty darn good. I was out there for about 3.5 hours. And once I hit 3, I started feeling it a little bit in my lower back. Right after I hit 3 hours. I hit 3 hours, and then I started getting a little twinge in my back, down at the very lower back. But considering I'm on a kayak, I'm sitting on a cushion that's sitting on a hard plastic style kayak, not too bad. And I've got it hooked to the kayak with a little loop hook thing that came on it. So if the kayak flips over, that seat cushion is just going to hang. Not going nowhere. Now, it could be partly the backing on my kayak may not be set exactly where I need it to support my back better. That might have been what caused my little bit of lower back pain while I was out there. I may not have the backing adjusted just right. Because mine just has the hard plastic back like Steve's does as far as the regular seat goes. But that seat cushion, yeah. Used to, I'd go out on it. You out there about 2 hours, and then your butt would just be, killing you. Now I was out there for 3 hours, and it was just my lower back getting to me. I think we need those kayak lumbar supports you strap on the back. They have them for like $25. Kayak Customs. We'll have it all decked out. But yeah, man. Some of the stuff I see people doing to some of these boats, it's just amazing. Like what Steve was talking about earlier. Taking an inflatable boat, putting that floor in it. You put them on the seat back. cool, I may have to look for something like that. Because I don't think it was the cushion that gave me any problem after being out there for 3 hours. I think it was because the seat backing didn't have me in just the right position, or wasn't giving me enough padding. But then again, it could be just, my lower back giving me trouble for being on a plastic boat over 3 hours. Because I had a life vest on the whole time, and that gives you a little bit of extra padding up against that plastic seat. That gives you a little bit of cushion. Yeah, lumbar support for the back of your chair. Hold your back from kinking up. Yeah, that might be something to look into. But like I said, I'm just looking around. I'm either going to get me and I'm not saying right now, this may be something that I do, or I may change my mind on it. Because I do like my kayak. And I like how tough it is. It's a tough kayak. It's going to take a lot to damage it. Because it's got a 5-year warranty on it, on the hull. So I don't look to have any trouble out of my hull, my kayak. It's a pretty tough kayak for what it is, for the price. I mean, $199.99, and you get a 5-year warranty on the hull. Now, I'll admit something. The paddle that comes with it, I didn't like it one bit. I brought it home, sat in the kayak, and did this. Took it out on the water the first time. Did not like it. Turned around, went right back up to Walmart, found like a $40, $50 paddle that was on sale for like $20. Bought that, brought it home, and it was 100% better than the one that came with it. Yeah, for one thing, it's too short. You need they say on a 10-foot, on an 8 to 10 foot kayak that's set on top, you need 230 to 240 millimeter kayak paddle at least to be comfortable in your paddling. That's what they say. That's what the majority of the guys that sell kayak paddles and sell kayaks say. They say you need to go with like a 230 or 240 millimeter kayak paddle or whatever it is. I'm not sure right now. I'd have to look it up. And that makes the strokes, makes it where it doesn't bother you as bad. Plus, let's face it, if you get a kayak brand new for $200, if it comes with a paddle, you ain't getting the best quality paddle. I mean, they're just giving you something to get started with. Because you look at the big name brands. You go and buy a Sin from Bass Pro Shop. A lot of them don't even come with a paddle. Now, if you get the really expensive Sins, they come with an Ascend paddle, which is still basically a Bass Pro Shop Cabela name brand. So it's not like they're giving you a big name brand paddle. They're just giving you their name brand. Because that's what the Ascend boat is. It's a boat that you can only get the Ascend generally at Cabela's and Bass Pro Shop. Because I know I've looked at a couple. But I don't know. I saw one guy. He took his inflatable, and instead of using an oar, instead of doing the rowing, he went out and got him a long kayak paddle. Yeah. A fishing scale is in the package. Nobody, you didn't see my last video? I just opened up a fish grabber. I just unboxed a fish grabber that has a ruler made on it. Plus up at the top, you pull it like this, and it has a cheap fish scale on it as well. So no, it's not a fish scale. I just did an unboxing. Yeah, the fish grabber. It's got a scale and a tape measure on there. So, nope. Not a fish scale yet. Oh, I'll probably get me a digital one down the road. but not right off the bat. I haven't had a chance to test even the fish grabber. But, yeah, I haven't had a chance to even test the fish grabber yet. I went fishing yesterday, but if you don't catch anything, you can't really give it a good test. You know? It was one of those things, like I said. But yesterday was a good learning session out on the lake. It showed me for a fact that, hey, the cart works good as long as you use ratchet tie-down straps. Make sure you use ratchet tie-down straps. And then the kayak cart works great. $35 well spent if you know you need to replace and put down ratchet tie-down straps. To me, the strap with it is garbage. You know, unless you're running them through something else to help hold it tight. Now, if you're running it through a milk crate, which is the way I originally did it when I first put it under there. If you run it through the milk crate, bring it from this side, come under the kayak, wrap it around the bar over here, come up through the milk crate, come through, wrap it around the bar, come back up through the milk crate, come back over here, wrap it around the bar, come back up, and right there, hook on, strap it down. You might be all right if you're not on a rough area. If you're not traveling down rough roads or through a rough yard. If it is, you may have to add a couple bungee cords to it to help tighten it up a little bit more. I did all that. I had 4 bungee cords and the strap, right, and that tie-down strap. It just wasn't. It worked when the crate was there. But as soon as I took that crate off, it just didn't want to stay. And as you hit those pine cones and those sticks, it was like that thing just vibrated loose that was holding it tight. And it just slowly, you'd look back there. And one time I caught it before the wheels walked out. I turned around and looked, and you could just see the strap just hanging there. It done got real loose. There was probably slack about this much, just hanging. And I was like, I got to do something about this. So I come back home, put the boat up on the porch, took the wheels out from under it, and just went to start thinking, what am I going to do? Can I fix this? Or have I got to buy a different type cart? What am I going to do? And that's when I remembered that I had those 2 ratchet tie-down straps and everything in the truck. Well, no, actually in the back of the car. And I was like, I'll just cut them down and make them work. Bam. Problem solved. Well, guys, I'm going to bed. See you next time. All right, Steve. You have a good one, man. Peace. Well, guys, I ain't going to bed, but I'm going to go ahead and call it. Got to get something to drink. I don't know whether it's going to be something else like this or whether it's going to be a cup of coffee. All right, Steve. See you next time. Massive clouds. We'll see you, my friend. And like I said, just keep an eye out. That video should be up in the next couple days. All right, Tom Hobbies. Later, my friend. And I'm not sure if you're still here. Wishing I was fishing 73, brother. Have a good one. All right, brother. This is Marshall. We out.